Ladies and gentlemen, this School of Hard Knocks fight is a professional bout in the 155-pound weight class and is your co-main event of the evening. This fight is brought to you by D&D Oilfield Service, our official cage movers for the School of Hard Knocks 17. And now, let's meet the fighters. He's fighting out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. He is Desmond Johnson.
So Desmond Johnson comes to the cage 0-1 as a professional fighter. He said he almost always loses to some form of choke. So he's going to be looking to stand and bang and get this fight finished on the feet, as he went 0-3 as an amateur before becoming a professional. Says that he keeps working his ground game, continues to improve his ground game, but feels that it's his stand-up that can really make the difference.
You know, and that's extremely surprising because you look at him and he's got grappler ears to the max. That guy's ears are twisted inside out, so you would think that he was a grappler, especially with the record that he has.
Talking to him last night, I asked him how he earned the badges, if you will, and he said it's from training and continually trying to pull his way out of those chokes.
And his opponent.
On my chip, man. I got this shot.
He's fighting out of your hometown. He is Nichol.
Medicine Hat fighter Terry Nichol out of Underground MMA comes to the cage 1-0, 28 years old, weighed in at 156 pounds last night. 0-2 as an amateur, then went pro and won his first pro fight.
You know, I've had the pleasure of training with Terry in the past. He's an amazing guy, very tough athlete. Going 0-2 as an amateur is absolutely surprising given the skill set he has. But you know, that 1-0 as a pro, he's earned it. And I think in this fight, he's going to look to go 2-0 with his striking ability.
And on the other side of the cage, we talked about Desmond Johnson and his propensity to lose to a choke. On the other side of the cage, Terry Nichol, losing both of his amateur fights to a rear naked choke, won his pro fight by a rear naked choke. So chokes a very prominent part of both of these young fighters' careers.
And now for the official fighter introductions. In the onside restoration blue corner, he's 0-1 as a professional. He's 32 years old, stands 6 feet tall. He weighed in at 154.4 pounds, fighting out of Innovative Martial Arts from Winnipeg. Please welcome Hard Knocks fighter Desmond Johnson. And his opponent in the Ralph's Texas Bar and Steakhouse red corner. He's 1-0 as a professional, 28 years old, and stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. He weighed in at 156 pounds, fighting out of Underground Training Center from Medicine Hat. Please welcome Terry Nichol. This bout will be contested under professional rules. The referee in charge of the Hard Knocks action is Mr. Elvis Lyon.
I want a good, clean, hard fight. Give it everything you got. If you're going to touch gloves, touch them up now. Go back to corners.
Elvis Lyon, our referee, as Terry Nichol in the black trunks with white trim comes out of the red corner. Out of the blue corner, it's Desmond Johnson in the black and white trunks, and we are underway. Johnson with a reach and height advantage over Nichol, but Nichol a little stockier of a build at 155. Leg kick comes from Nichol, gets out of the way as Johnson tries to throw the head kick. Both fighters throwing a couple feel-out strikes. Another high kick comes there from Johnson. Fans getting behind the hometown hero, Terry Nichol. Who again seems to be trading strikes. That probably the most effective strike landed thus far in the fight.
You know, Terry's working the feeling out process right now. He's very comfortable, but as soon as he lets his hands go, prepare for a show.
Terry Nichol said he watched some tape on his opponent, which helped him prepare for this fight. Feels like there are some tendencies of Desmond Johnson that he can exploit. Nice punch landed there after the kick thrown by Johnson. Nichol keeping that one hand out there, kind of holding it out, ready to block any punches thrown by Johnson. His coach is calling for him to go forward for Terry Nichol. So far unable to do so. Does end up on the better end of a Desmond Johnson takedown attempt. Nichol able to land some strikes.
Yeah, this is where I think Terry's going to take advantage. He's a lot stronger looking than his opponent, and he can use that strong base to hold his opponent down and start firing off some shots.
And again, when you're this close, a little bit of a reach and height advantage doesn't really mean much.
No, not at all.
Terry Nichol dropping punches now, unloading against Desmond Johnson up against the cage. Trying to trap that one arm, but unable to do so. So Johnson able to defend pretty well up against the cage, but some of those punches getting through. Again, Nichol continuing to land punches. Now has a choke attempt in on.
There it is.
And that's a pretty
tap.
deep. That's a tap. You're right about that. Desmond Johnson loses to a choke. And Terry Nichol moves to 2-0 as a professional after starting his amateur career 0-2. Still perfect in the record books is Terry Nichol.
Ladies and gentlemen, while we wait for the official decision, a special thank you goes out to Tom Wild and the Underground Training Center for supporting MMA in Medicine Hat and helping Hard Knocks make Medicine Hat shows possible. Without the support of local MMA clubs, these events would not take place. Ladies and gentlemen, the official results are in. Brought to you by D&D Oilfield Service. The winner by tap out due to guillotine choke at 2 minutes and 39 seconds in the very first round, in the red corner, Terry Nichol.
So here with your winner, Terry Nichol. Terry, you've been in 2 amateur fights and now 2 pro fights. The 3 fights before this one ended with a rear naked choke. Any temptation to try and take his back, or when the guillotine was there, you had to go for it?
Now, you know what? It was there, so I took it. Whatever.
Now, you said tonight that you felt a little bit of extra pressure fighting in front of the hometown fans, not wanting to disappoint people. I take it you got a lot of people out here to see you tonight?
Yeah, there's a few people out here, I guess, yeah.
Now, nobody gets to be a pro fighter without some help cage side. Talk about your coaches, your training.
Fody right there is my wrestling coach. Brad Sones is my boxing coach. Peter Neufeld, I trained with him at CMC about 2 years ago. For 2 years, he's been a big inspiration and help for me. Peter Neufeld.
So undefeated as a professional, 2-0. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Terry Nichol.